All righty. Good evening to all those here in the council chambers and at home. Today is February 13th, and this is the combined work and regular session meeting of the mayor and council. I'm Liz Homan. I'm actually having the honor of stepping in for Amy Wilczynski as our mayor is out of town. So Linda, would you please call the meeting to order and read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting, are posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and on the borough website, published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year, and copies are sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting by the February 4th, 2025 Sunshine Notice was sent to the record, the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger, and has been posted on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and borough website. Councilman Yakarino.
Here.
Councilman O'Toole.
Here.
Councilwoman Homan.
Here.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Here.
Councilman Delavatio.
Here.
Councilman O'Connell. Mayor Wilczynski.
All right, can I ask everybody to stand and salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, so the first thing on the agenda is the approval of the January 23rd, 2025 work and regular meeting minutes, as well as closed session meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Lovasolo.
A second?
O'Toole.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Abstain.
All righty, and the next thing we will do is review the agenda. We have 3 ordinances today for second reading. 2501, which is appropriation of capital for Crestwood Lake and dispatcher improvements. Then we have 2502, a parking ordinance for the community center. The third one is 2503, which is establishing a 5-minute parking spot at 75 West Allendale Ave. We then have a first reading of ordinance 2504, which is an amendment to the salaries, wages, and compensation for the borough. And we have one resolution, that would be 2572, which is an annual renewal for bond anticipation notes. This is monies that are committed to capital projects, such as the roll-off that we purchased, the 2 trucks that we purchased for the DPW, roof improvements, some roads, and different items that have been put into the capital budget. We also have the consent agenda, which is, routine items. But Mayor Amy Wilczynski always does such a nice job of reviewing this, and it really shows, I think, the mayor and council's commitment to transparency. So I will do the same. There is monies being spent for grandstand parking lot repair. There is also an approval for the Ramadan crescent lighting, which will happen on February the 28th and will be up through the end of March. We also have the approval for the holiday walk, which you can all put on your calendars now, as December 5th, 2025. And we will be waiving the vendor fees for this holiday walk. We have approvals for the Ramapo firing range. We also have the employment assistance program, as well as budget movement within our budgets until we have a final budget. We have temporary budgets. And lastly, we have the bill list, which I know Suzanne, we actually spoke today, going through and looking at that. So that is our list. So with that, I would like to introduce for second reading, ordinance 2501. Linda, could you please read that for us?
The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on January 23rd, 2025, and posted on the bulletin board of the lobby of the municipal building and borough website. Ordinance 25-01, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements in, by, and for the borough of Allendale in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $995,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment or fully fund an appropriation from the Capital Improvement Fund, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
So I'd like to, at this point, open it up to the public for any comment. All right, seeing none, then I would do I have a motion to approve on second reading ordinance 2501?
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
And now we'll present ordinance 2502. Linda, could you please read that?
The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on January 23rd, 2025, and posted on the bulletin board of the lobby of the municipal building and borough website. Ordinance 25-02, an ordinance to amend, supplement, and revise Article 2, Section 252-9 of the Borough Code of Chapter 252 of the Borough of Allendale entitled Vehicles in Traffic.
And I'd like to open it up to the public. Any comment from the public? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve ordinance 2502 on second reading?
So moved. Second.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
And I'd like to introduce ordinance 2503. Linda?
The following ordinance published herewith was first read by title only on January 23rd, 2025, and posted on the bulletin board of the lobby of the municipal building and borough website. Ordinance 25-03, an ordinance to amend, supplement, and revise the Code of the Borough of Allendale, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 252-9A.
Do I have a motion to approve on second?
Public comment.
Oh, no, public comment. Anybody?
No.
All righty. Do I have a motion to approve on second reading?
So moved. Second.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
And I would like to introduce for first reading and approval, ordinance 25-404.
Ordinance 25-04, an ordinance to amend Chapter 53 of the Code of the Borough of Allendale, Officers and Employees, to fix the salaries, wages, and compensation of the officers and employees of the Borough of Allendale for the year 2025.
And do I have a motion to approve first reading?
So move, Lovasolo.
Second.
Councilman Yakarino.
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole.
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
And then I'd like to introduce for first reading and approval, Resolution 25-84. Linda, if you could please read that.
Resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Allendale in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, covenanting to comply with the provisions of the Internal Revenue Code 1986 as amended, applicable to the exclusion from gross income for federal income tax purposes of interest on obligations issued by the Borough of Allendale, and authorizing the mayor, borough clerk, chief financial officer, and other borough officials to make such actions as they may deem necessary or advisable to effect such compliance, in designating a $5,758,000 bond anticipation note dated February 21st, 2025, payable February 20th, 2026, as a qualified tax-exempt obligation pursuant to Section 265B3 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended.
Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 25-84?
So moved, Lovasolo.
And I'll second that.
Yep.
Councilman Yakarino,
Yes.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio,
Yes.
Great. So now we will move on to council report.
consent agenda,
Oh, consent
Approval.
agenda. Yeah, maybe we'll do that first.
approval of the consent.
Good idea.
May I please have a approval for a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
And second, Holman.
Okay. Councilman Yakarino,
Abstain 2583, yes on the balance, please.
Councilman O'Toole,
Yes.
Councilwoman Homan,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lovasolo,
Yes.
Councilman Delavatio.
Yes.
All right, now I'd like to move on to the committee reports. So, Councilman O'Toole
Thank you, Madam President / Mayor.
for the day, for
For
the
the
week.
The Public Safety Committee met the other night. We had an excellent meeting. Joe was very instrumental at the meeting. We're happy to have him.
Go, Joe.
Go, Joe. Instrumental,
Good job, Joe.
Some of the things we discussed, crosswalk signs that are missing downtown are to be reinstalled in the near future. The contractors are waiting on the weather to be a bit more cooperative. We discussed our police force and the fact that we have conditional offers now sent to 2 police candidates who are either certified or finishing up at the academy. Lead training is in full swing at Brookside School. And this evening, we had the second readings of the 2 ordinances having to do with parking in town. First was parking at the community center. Spots in front of the community center are for the use of those using the community center, not for the parking of residents of the Vale. So now that that's been read for the second time, start enforcing. And the second was a 5-minute parking spot downtown in front of Terry O'Connor Realtors. What we're designating that spot for is for ride share and food delivery pickups. Hopefully, this is going to cut down on some of the illegal parking that's become quite prevalent in town during the evenings. And finally, I'd just like to remind everyone that on March 27th, Firehouse from 1 to 7, we are again hosting the Gary Letizia Memorial Blood Drive. So come on down and roll up your sleeves.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And Councilwoman Lovasolo.
Thank you, Madam President, Madam Mayor. First gentleman, Homan in the audience. So I don't have much to report right now because we're not meeting. We haven't had our monthly meetings yet for Land Use Committee, which will be the morning of the 27th. We'll have our next meeting. And also that week, we'll have our next Finance HR Admin meeting. But on that note, I just want to say, and Tyler, I hope I'm not going to step on your toes on this one, but if you haven't taken a look at all the improvements at Borough Hall, just like look around, as you can see, there was new carpeting and painting in this area, but down in our Borough Clerk's office, where removed some of the old furniture that had been there forever. The rug is going to remain because it was in very good shape. We're just going to clean it a bit, but they're going to be getting a new desks in there. So that's going to be great. Great space for our staff down there. And there's just small little things to kind of make it more user friendly. When you first used to come into Borough Hall for the clerk's area, there used to be like a screen there that got moved to the other side. So now the window is open on the side when you first come in, which is more inviting and welcoming. And it's going to be able to give our staff in there the ability to see people at the window more clearly, because I know sometimes that's an issue. People can be standing there and what have you. So they're just little spruce ups, not spending a ton of money on this stuff, but just to make the environment for our staff that we value so much just better and more inviting.
Yeah.
So thank you for all your help on that too, Linda.
Yeah,
And I
think
know
it's
Dottie
wonderful.
was like, sweeping up down there today and
Yeah.
vacuuming and stuff. So you
I
guys do a
also
great
want to
job.
thank the DPW for coming down and taking the old desks out and pulling that out. So they did
Yeah.
a great job.
That was great. And as far as I know, I usually report out on library at the first meeting of the month, but they are going to come in at our next meeting in 2 weeks and give a little status report for all the great things that went on at the library last year and give their little information. Then, and for the green team, I think you guys are going to speak to this, but the date for our environmental day got moved by a week to the following week. So it's going to be May 3rd now instead of April, what was it, 26th or something like that? Yeah. So, so that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Councilman Delavatio.
Thank you, Madam President. We really don't have much to report on. Our last meeting was early January. We are scheduled for our next regular meeting next week. I did touch base with our DPW Superintendent, Andy, who was just getting over the flu, so he was kind of out of commission for the last couple of weeks. Just miscellaneous, in case anybody hadn't noticed, we had some snowstorms. So the DPW's been working on clearing the snow with our contractor who plows our roads, who I think they did a lot better this time than they did last year. Just some miscellaneous repairs, as Linda mentioned, some stuff around the different facilities and getting ready for spring and updating with some of the field stuff. We're going to continue, excuse me, we're going to continue some of that stuff. And I know our DPW guys are just, doing their normal rounds, going around town. So if any issues around town, please don't hesitate to call DPW. I believe there's on our website, just notify and somebody will definitely respond. Thank you.
Thanks so much. And remotely, Tyler Yacarino, Councilman
Well,
Yacarino.
Thank you, Madam President, from up the street and around the corner. My committee report for this evening is mainly focused on the concession stand, which we are full steam ahead. We are having weekly huddle meetings Tuesday at 3 o'clock with all the stakeholders, the architect, the contract company who won the bid, DPW, myself, and the mayor. We do have those meetings weekly, and we are on track, hopefully, for opening day as planned. We are very diligent in working with our stakeholders to make sure that we continue to remain on schedule and make sure that project's coming together. Next week, we'll be having our first on-site meeting, so we will be doing a site visit there and looking forward to that. Our first Allendale Sports Alliance meeting of the year, we're looking to have on Monday, February 24th. So we're looking to discuss scheduling for the year regarding spring sports, field updates, and things of that nature. So that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Yacarino. I guess as a council person, I will give my report at this point. Not too long, but certainly a lot going on in water and sewer, as there always is. I'm going to let Ray talk a little bit about the updates as far as moving to close the Veolia deal. But we are in constant communication with Veolia. I know that there have been several residents that have had concerns about water bills, and we are in conversation with them. I do encourage individuals that are having a concern about their water bill to absolutely call Veolia, to escalate it up to ask for a manager. And thirdly, if they're really not getting the satisfaction that they need, they do have the BPU as an opportunity to reach out to them. I also do encourage them to send myself an email. It's lizhoman@allendalenj.gov because I don't read Facebook, so that's not a place where I will be advocating from. As far as sewer, there's also an awful lot going on in sewer. I have coordinated a meeting with the Bergen County Utility Authority where we'll be talking about a number of topics, how to better improve our sewer system here in Allendale, as that is our second largest budget item next to public safety. So it's certainly something that if we can improve the sewer system by spending money on repairs and mitigate some of the I&I or inflow that goes into the pipes, that would be excellent. And myself and Mayor Wilczynski also met with Senator Schepisi after the last council meeting. And so we're working through some different ideas with her in order to, just make sure Allendale has the best foot forward. So with that, I will go and ask if Linda, do you have a report for us?
Just that the primary election day has been changed from June 3rd, 2025 to June 10th, 2025. It's usually the first Tuesday after the first Monday in June. So just that change.
Okay, thank you very much. And Chief Mike Dillon.
Thank you. No report. I'll send relate to the public safety committee.
Okay. All right, and let's see. Oh, we don't have anybody else here.
Yes, so we covered.
Oh, Ray Wiss, our borough attorney, please share with us.
So a shorter report, but I think some, bigger items. As the council president mentioned, we're still working with Veolia on easements. Some issues still trying to reconcile, with respect to the Vale and the community center, which have been of somewhat historic dimension involving, parking and drainage and other things. So that's, looks like we've resurrected Hampshire as part of that discussion. So that's ongoing. There is a new litigation initiated by a resident against Veolia. And we are monitoring that litigation and seeing where it goes and hoping the borough does not wind up being a party to that matter. But since it does involve a resident and trying to get some type of a reconciliation or resolution of it, we're closely monitoring that case. With respect to the diversion process, which is the Green Acres process that we've talked about before, we think that our borough engineer should be in shape very, very shortly to file what's called the pre-application, and that is ultimately to try to dedicate to Green Acres or passive recreation an area on New Street, very close to the DPW facility, in order to satisfy Green Acres with respect to a prior issue decades ago involving, I guess, a line that was inserted over Green Acres property. So we're hoping to get that process kicked off. It will probably be a lengthy process, could span 9 months to 12 months to ultimately get it reconciled. But we're hoping to initiate that by next week. The other matter that has taken up a bit of time since our last meeting is I did report that there is a litigation in which we are involved with a developer in Saddle River. There have been discussions with the developer, with Saddle River, with the Fair Share Housing Council, since the project in Saddle River does involve some of their low and moderate income units from their third round. There is a hope that there will be a mediation in short order to try to reconcile things. Failing that, it is a formal litigation to which the borough is a party. So we have filed our answer in that proceeding. So it'll either be duking it out in a formal litigation or seeing if the parties can reach some reconciliation. But I suppose the good news for us, the bad news for Saddle River, is that the developer, having seen our brief, has now decided to add Saddle River as a party. So they are now part of the conversation, which was always a missing element. That's it.
So really, you can see that sewer is the fun committee.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
Wait a
I would
second.
also
Amy
like
told me I
to.
was fun.
Pardon?
Amy said Crestwood was fun. That's how I signed on.
Land use, and we're the other fun ones.
Sewer is really fun.
Uh-huh.
Come on, join it. Okay, so I do want to read Mayor Wilczynski's report also in talking about the community center. We have had a successful rollout of our community center. We are happy to accommodate so many of Allendale's groups and volunteer organizations such as ARC, the Holiday Observers, and the XYZ Club. We also have a new pickleball director who's helping us manage pickleball players. Currently, we are keeping it Allendale only, and certainly, and I echo Mayor Wilczynski's sentiments, as all of us do on the council, that we ask for patience from our residents as we navigate through our systems and the operations. So far, everybody has been very positive, and we all hope that continues. For Fair Share Housing, we have been very busy meeting the aggressive timelines that have been set by the affordable housing mandates. There is a great team in place, and we are working hard to strategically balance the need for affordable housing and the character of our town. Another aspect of this is protecting our infrastructure, and I'll add that this is what Ray was talking about. Our infrastructure for not only what we need to build here in Allendale, but also from the mandates that neighboring towns have. That, as Ray had said, unfortunately, lawyers are now involved. It's just, we can't.
I didn't say the unfortunate part.
Oh, sorry. I'm saying the unfortunate part is that lawyers are involved. Ours is great, but that this has come to, kind of this
Those
place.
lawyers.
But it's really is indeed to protect Allendale and the Allendale residents, because we do have limited infrastructure. The sewers were put in the 1960s. And so, we've had tremendous development since that time. So we are also planning 4 more town halls in the spirit of transparency. Dates will be announced soon. Mayor Wilczynski and the council are working on the goals of each borough by committee and look forward to sharing them with the public at our first town hall. So thank you so much to everybody. Is there any unfinished business? Any new business? How about public comment on any matter? Please come forward, state your name and your address.
Liz, your acting mayor, wonderful meeting.
Thank you so much. There's
Uh,
still a 3-minute limit. No,
Yes,
just kidding.
okay, I'm pretty good for you. Just very briefly, we had our first in-person meeting for the Green Team at the community center. And I wrote a note to Amy and Mayor Emeritus Liz and thanked them. It's a wonderful space. It really is delightful.
Yeah.
Everything worked great. And thank you, Tyler, for providing that code that we needed for the TV. That worked out perfectly.
Happy to help.
Yeah, we did a Zoom meeting as well as an in-person meeting, so people who couldn't make it could see it as well and participate. We're having an EPS collection on Saturday, so the public is listening. If any of you have material, we will be collecting on Saturday and transporting on Sunday, and keeping our fingers crossed for
And where will that
fair
be
weather.
and what time?
is going to be here at Borough Hall from 10 to 12.
Great.
No, I take that back. I'm sorry. It's going to be in Ramsey at the train station. Normally, they would run their own event, but because they were having problems with their environmental commission, we agreed to have our team run the event in Ramsey and process the material. But we want to get the public used to the fact that it's going to go between the 3 municipalities. So our team will be hosting the event. Suzanne, do we need to get a resolution for our event, like the resolution that was passed for the holiday walk in May?
It's always good form, at least since it's under our umbrella. You know, necessity, no. Good idea, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
So we'll do that.
Street
We'll,
isn't closed.
we'll do
That's-
that when, we're also gonna do a resolution for the grant that you guys are putting in.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll do those together.
Yes.
That one has to be in before March 21st, I think that was. I think that's what Stephen
Yeah.
said.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm going to turn this over to Krithi Vedam and Carlton Frost. We're going to tell you a little bit about some changes they're going to make to the event.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir.
Hello, wonderful
Hello.
Northern Highland student. Please share your name and your address.
Oh, my address?
You can give just your town if you
Oh.
don't want to give your actual address, but you do need to put your name on the record. It needs to be on the record.
Yes,
And
my name is Krithi Vedam, and I'm from Northern Highlands, and I'm from Allendale. So nice to meet you all. So I first learned about the Green Team when I contacted Mark about trying to create some initiative to help out the litter in our town, because I've always looked to make the earth a better place to live in, and every time I see litter across the streets, I always pick it up, but I wanted to make more of a widespread impact of this. And I already volunteer at MEVO, which is in Mahwah. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, the Mahwah Environmental Volunteer Organization, where I volunteered on both of their farms. But I still wanted to make more of an impact on our local community here. So this is why I wanted to initiate a town-wide litter cleanup at Allendale. So I already spoke with Carlton to strategize and plan for expanding on the existing litter cleanup that happens in spring. So some areas that we were thinking of focusing on were Crestwood, especially on the sand, and also the area around and behind Acme, especially the brook, which tends to have a lot of trash, which isn't very good for our town. So, and also since we're gonna be near Acme, I was gonna also ask the manager for the donation of bags to use to help us with the litter cleanup. So if any of you have an area that you'd like to see addressed in the town to help us find a direction for where to clean up the litter in the town, please let us know. Also, for the volunteers, I already have about 7 people interested, but we are also thinking about collaborating with the environmental club at Highlands
Wonderful.
to get more volunteers. And also, we spoke to Mrs. Weiss about collaborating with the athletic teams, like the football team, for their philanthropic endeavors in Allendale. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to let any of us know. And as always, your participation is also welcome if you would like to help out with the litter cleanup. So after hearing this, I hope that you think this is a good idea for us to implement into Allendale. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any suggestions or comments, please let us know.
First, my comment is it's awesome. I think, I mean, have known Carlson always cleaning up when he's walking through Crestwood. And I think the fact that you're expanding that and trying to encourage students, and I know that Ms. Weiss has been, excellent too in helping communicate that. So, I mean, people go to high school in Allendale, and so it really would be nice to be able to get groups together, and then they not only will have that as something that they do during that one time, but once you start realizing how much litter there is, it becomes something that you're more aware of. So I think it's great.
Great. And you're thinking about starting it on the Environmental Day, in the spring?
Yeah, we were thinking of doing it on May 3rd. Yeah.
Okay.
May 3rd during the day, meeting up in Crestwood and extending from there.
Great.
Awesome. So I think it's one of those things you see, myself in school, but communicate and let us know how we can support. Right?
Thank you.
Great.
Anybody else wish to be heard? All right. Seeing no one, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, Tyler.